Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading session. Sorry, my voice is a little squeaky. This darn cold is driving me bonkers. All right, so we just saw the NASDAQ open, and it looks like the overnight was pretty quiet, really. Yesterday, the market establishing a little bit of a sideways range. We've since broken through the bottom end, and now it looks like we're retesting that a little bit and coming out with a sell signal. This is actually our first in sync eagle signal. I would recommend, if you're going to attempt this signal, to look at doing a second push entry, namely entering below the low of this current bar. For you Raptor owners, oh dear, hold on. Okay, well, I'm going to give them a couple minutes here. If they head lower, they head lower. For you Raptor owners, I am going to put together a Raptor video manual. I got to get over this cold first, though, because the recordings wouldn't sound very good with me in my current state. But as Aspen wrote me yesterday, requesting some of the information about the Raptor signals, at the beginning of the year, we did start the Raptor training every Tuesday and Thursday. So you can go into the video archives and you can search out the Tuesday and Thursday sessions. And it's usually the first 20 minutes, half an hour of that day was devoted to the Raptor. And what I would pay particular attention to as a new Raptor owner are the signals. Understanding what makes a number one a number one, what makes a number two a number two. The Raptor will prompt you. Obviously, that's one of the benefits of the new Raptor. However, you should also be able to identify them on your own. So the number one signal is our cloud crossover signal. So that occurs when the clouds cross over. So they go from, in this case, a bullish pattern where they're stacked bullish to a bearish pattern. Ideally, the number one signal will pull back after the clouds cross or during the cloud cross, and then it will come out and produce a signal. That's a cloud crossover signal. That's our number one signal. It tends to develop near the beginning of a new trend. Although occasionally you will get a number one signal printing mid-trend. Then we have the number two signal, which is the counter trend signal. And in order to have a counter trend, you first need to have a trend, or at least something resembling a trend. Then you need to see the market pull back and then try to resume the original trend, but fail. And when it does that, you're going to produce a number two signal. So you can see we had another little retest down here. It failed, came out with a number 2. Tried one more time, failed, came out with another number 2. And that's our counter trend signal. The number 3 signal is the trend continuation signal. It's the hard edge bounce. But there too, if there's no trend to continue, you can have all the hard edge bounces you want. You're not going anywhere, right? So you need to have a trend preceding it. Context is important. And that's going to be the part where you're going to take a little bit of time to familiarize yourself with the system. You want to get used to recognizing the context of the market. Like right now, if anything, we're fairly neutral, but we've come from a downtrend, and now we're trying to produce an uptrend. You see, we're more or less honoring the trend line support. There will be a little bit of a gap above the market here from the open. It looks like we left off trading yesterday around 54.40-ish. And we opened this morning 54.33, 34-ish. Okay, so this hasn't printed yet, but you could see this as another number 2 signal. Or perhaps even an early cloud crossover. Now, I think it's very aggressive to see it as an early cloud crossover, but another number 2, maybe. So once again, traders trying to resume the original trend, which is down, and they're failing to resume the trend, and this is still very early, folks. If we can get above this 54.34, I should have actually entered the other side of 54.34. Okay, let's see if they can't get above here now. A real struggle at this particular price level. All right, I may choose to bring my stops in below this low right here. Activate my swing high-low stop. Oh, it wants to put it back there. Well, I'm going to opt for this stop right here. Below the low of the morning. All right, come on, buyers, let's go. Wow, look at that. starting to wonder now whether this is turning into a great big bear flag. For those of you unfamiliar with the term bear flag, it looks like this. In a downtrending market, the market tends to make these little pullbacks. Usually they're small, but they always lead to a trend continuation. That's called a bear flag, this part right here. A bull flag would occur in an uptrending market, where there's a little bit of a pullback, and then prices continue higher. Occasionally, the market will drift sideways, either if it's moving up or down, and on some occasions, it will even expand a little bit, but these are less common. Usually when you see the market starting to expand this way, it's getting ready to reverse. Little note to self. Well, we're having a very difficult time with 54.34. Aspen is asking, why are some bars solid and some hollow? Okay, the Raptor will print the bars how they close relative to their open. So just like a traditional candlestick, if the bar closes below the open, it will print a solid body. So when you see a solid body bar, you know it was a relatively bearish bar. The higher tick will be the open, the lower tick will be the close. A hollow body bar is just the opposite. It's the same as a bull bar on a candlestick, where the close is above the open. So you take this bar right here, for instance, because it's a hollow body, I know this was the opening price here. This was the closing price here. The Raptor will also print the bars by their color, the color trying to show you the overall price bias. So that's why you can get bullish bars, hollow bars with red bodies, and why you can get solid bars with blue bodies. So the overall chart bias is bullish, but we are getting some bearish bars here, which is typical of a pullback. Now, my trade here is, again, a little bit more on the aggressive side. If the market heads higher from here, what's going to happen? Well, the market's going to head higher, hopefully hit my profit target, but the clouds are going to cross over. When the clouds cross over, we'll see another retest, and then the market will come out and we will print a number one signal. So if you wanted to wait for that, that's the safer play, and I'm using air quotes, safer. My play here is a little bit more aggressive, but it's based on what the market is doing, right? This is another number two signal. It won't print as a number two because the parameters for number two mean that it's going to print down here, right? Here's the trend. Here's the trend. Here's the test of the extreme. Here's the failure. Here's the number two. But knowing that though that's what's required to make a number two signal, and this is something that is a little bit more advanced, something that you will become familiar with. When you're first starting out, you're better off waiting for the signals. Allow the Raptor to prompt you. And then look at the signal and say, all right, is the context of the chart good? Like this number two signal, not a bad signal. We had a reasonable little bit of a downtrend anyways. It wasn't a monster downtrend, but a downtrend all the same. Excuse me. We had a retest and a failure and a signal. Okay, I'm in. Let's buy that. However, when you're in a situation like this, and you start printing all kinds of signals and there's no follow through, and you're looking at the context of your chart and you're saying, you should be saying to yourself, this market looks like it's sideways. When we suspect a market is sideways, the best way to trade a sideways market is to allow it to break out So let's say we suspect the market is sideways. We're going to say this is our sideways range. Well, actually, let's do it down here. Okay, so at this point, we say, that looks like a sideways market to me. The best thing to do is to allow the price to break out, retest, and then look for your signal. Let the market prove that it can stay out. And this is true for all your tools. Doesn't matter whether you're using the Raptor or the Hawk or the Eagle. If you identify the market moving sideways or you suspect it's moving sideways, that's the best strategy. Now, this is a fairly evident sideways range here on the Hawk. We've got yellow bars clustering. There's no real follow through. So we allow the market to break out. Oh, and look, there's our retest. And now the market is proving that it can stay out. This is a green bar sell signal that we could have set up to buy. Probably looks something like that. And we would have hit our scalp target. Or you can now wait for the first micro macro cross signal. All right, I have a feeling I got tagged at break even. Yes, I did. Oh well. Stinkers. They looks like they came within a couple of ticks of my profit target too. Oh, way to go, Steven. Steven grabbed a couple of bucks on that trade. Well done. Yeah, it looks like we've got some reports out at the top of the hour. And so here we are again. And now it's, the clouds are beginning to cross. So we're going to look for the market to retreat into the clouds, the cloud to push the price back out. And that will be our number one signal. And we should get a pre-signal warning on that one. Yeah, luck counts. Steven says 6 points and multiple contracts. Lucky is good also. Yeah, lucky counts. Okay, I'm going to stay here with the Raptor here this morning, but we are getting a first micro-macro cross here in the Hawk that you could take advantage of. We've kind of filled that gap from the morning, so we might see a reaction to that. But right now it looks as though it's a buyer's market. At least till we get back near some of yesterday's price levels around the 54, 40, 44, 45 area. So the scoundrels just had to do that little stutter step to tag me out before they went on to my profit target. Gold putting in a monster rally this morning, but got kind of quiet after. Okay, so here comes a little bit of selling now. And this would be a reaction to filling in that gap, opening range gap. All right, a few more minutes, and then the report comes out. Our clouds now on the Raptor fully crossed, so we can anticipate a number one signal perhaps. Okay, so 54.40, a little bit of a stumbling block. Don't remember if that was an important value yesterday or not. All right, so now we're getting that pullback, which is, again, what we would anticipate. Well, spoke too soon. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of a pullback there. They put the brakes on again. Well, that might be all that they're going to give us. That's not much of a retest, but this technically now our number one signal. We've got the warning dots. It's going to print up here near yesterday's highs. Or I should say near yesterday's opening range high. All right, so there's the pre-signal crossover buy forming. There's the number one. But because we already anticipated it, we were able to get ready for it. Excuse me. Just making a couple notes in my trading journal. Come on. Go hard. Oh, don't you stall now, you stinkers. Get up there. All right. They got very, very close to my break even and flinched. I'm going to force the trade to break even and hope for the best. Yes, I'm a chicken. This is also the region we're at now. This whole 54, 44, 45 area. You can see last time prices got up here, this was the result. We got knocked down pretty good. I don't want to go through that again, which is why I've rolled my stops in. Go hard, come on. Come on, get above 44. Come on. Here, we'll give you a push. Let's get 44 quarter. Come on. There we go. Whew. That was hard work. Okay, next stop 45. Got to get you above 45. Let's go. Little nudge. No, it's not liking this whole price level. I might get lucky enough to see the profit target, but I don't feel so bad having the traded break even. Excuse me for just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I should have got somebody to push the market higher while I was fixing the drip in my nose. Come on, get above 45. Well, you know, Steven says, maybe I shouldn't have sold out, but at least it was a nice cherry on top of March. Hey, you know what, Steven? Nobody knows what's going on the right side of the chart, right? Trading the left side of the chart is easy. Trading the right side of the chart, not so much. So long as you had your reasons for taking your profit when you did, you should never beat yourself up. The only time I get upset with myself is if I shoot from the hip. And by that I mean I make a snap judgment. I deviate from my trading plan for no good reason. Those are the only times that it bothers me. And the rest of the time, you know, it's a risky game that we're playing here. Like I say, trading in hindsight is easy. Trading real time, not so much. Well, it looks like there was enough there for a scalp target, but not much more. Kind of back now to the top end of yesterday's trading range, or close to it. don't know if we're going to see the sellers try to knock it down here and hold that trading range. They did a pretty good job yesterday. Still a strong bull bias, no question. And the Falcon actually producing a double dot counter trend signal. I don't know if I want to go crazy on that one, but it's there for you. Now, the important thing about a double dot signal is that you're able to tie it in with the recent history of the chart. You don't want to be going back several days, but ideally you want to be able to look back at the chart and say, oh, look, last time prices traded here, this was the result. The assumption is that now that they're trading here again, it will have that same or similar result. The double dot signal, again for the hawk, or pardon me, the falcon, totally counter trend. You've only got the double dots going to produce a sell signal. Only nice thing about a double dot signal is that you know where to cover the trade. Because it's counter trend, you cover above the highs. All right, we'll see what they do with this. Daniel asks, if you are in a trade on one chart and you hit the close button on another chart, will that close all your position? I don't think so. The trade manager is specific to this Falcon chart. If I hit the close button on the trade manager here on the Raptor, it does nothing with my Falcon trade. Now let me try. No, you're okay. No, the trade manager is specific to this chart. Wow, they just kind of walked away. Nothing's going on. Just watching, waiting. Quite the struggle going on this current bar. Aspen asks, is there a way to know the high and low of the previous bars by hovering your mouse? What you can do is you can hover your mouse over well, you can either use the crosshairs, and you can just kind of eyeball it, or you can hover over the mouse, and if you've got a 3-button mouse, you hit the middle button. If you have a 2-button mouse with a roller, push down on the roller, and there you go. If you have a laptop, I don't know what you do. Oh, I could almost go for a nap. Nothing's going on here. Yeah, good observation here from Floyd. Floyd says, I've noticed that the market tends to move on the hour or half hour. Have you noticed this over time? Yes. As a very general rule of thumb, the market will tend to be a little bit more active at the top of the hour and bottom of the hour, or within 5 or 10 minutes. Things looking a little bit more bullish again now. All right, we're getting almost to the bottom of the hour now. After that first hour of trading, if there's been a defined trend, very often the market will try to reverse that trend, which kind of reinforces the double dot signal here on the Falcon. Now, you could try to run this out, but it is counter trend. I'm not going to be greedy. If I get 54.34, the way the market's ranging today, You can see we're almost into the hard edge on the Raptor, as well as the Eagle. And we're just hovering above the break even again, so I'm going to force the trade to break even. Oh, come on. Be nice. Might have to close up the room a little bit early here, folks. I'm dying. Steve says, I just returned. Why'd you take that Falcon trade? It's the double dot signal. I don't do this often with the Falcon because it is a counter trend. I really don't want you wasting your time looking for counter trend signals. However, there are certain situations where a counter trend trade might be worth trying. And that is when you can tie what is currently happening into a recent activity on the chart. So you can say, all right, well, last time the market traded up here, this is what happened. So therefore, I might anticipate that's what's going to happen again. The double dot signal starts to build when you get counter trend dots printing right next to each other. So here we had 3 dots. Sometimes you'll see as many as 4. You need a minimum of 2. You don't want them separated, right? You don't want them, like I would not consider this dot here and this dot here to represent a double dot signal. And yet another break-even trade. But I would only do double dot signals, like I say, if I can look back in the recent history of the chart. I don't want to go back several days. I want to be able to look back here because the reason the price is going to react is because something happened back here not all that long ago. So in this case, it looks like it was probably, oops, this guy right here that caused the reaction. And then a few hours before that, we had that low continue to hold. So that's probably why this double dot signal had some follow through to it. But it is counter trend. You don't want to get too cocky. I usually only take a single contract. I almost always look to take profit on target. Especially on a day like today where everything seems to be just a little bit slower, a little bit sideways. All right, boys and girls, I hate to cut you loose like this, but I am feeling a little bit on the rough side, so I'm going to close up shop here. The market is kind of sideways here, so be careful if you're going to be trading any more this morning. I can see them try to retest the high, maybe. but there's no definitive direction here this morning, so you're better just to get in, get some profit, get out, or call it a day and start over again on Monday. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little better by then, and thanks everyone for your well wishes. I will see you on Monday. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.